Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome back to another review for the Steven Seagal-a-thon, and this is Fire Down Below, which that little thing says, beneath a land of wealth and beauty hides a secret that could kill millions. Undercover has never run so deep. Fire Down Below. Directed by Félix Enríquez Alcalá, probably said the name wrong. Kris Kristofferson is your bad guy. It co-stars people like Harry Dean Stanton from Alien, Stephen Lane, from Avatar, and Mark Helgenberger, who was in Species, and I believe she was in the TV show CSI. Story by Jeb Stuart, who I believe helped write that film. Yeah, screenplay by David Peoples and Jeb Stuart. And originally this was going to be a Bruce Willis movie, but I believe the Bruce Willis film was going to be more of a thriller, detective, or drama flick, not so much an action film. And I got, once again, some good info, great info from Jack Craven. Thank you once again, man. For example, he sent me a trailer that I had never seen before. The trailer I had always seen is the ones on these DVDs, where it has music, I believe, from Under Siege 2. I could be wrong. But he sent me another trailer, and I'm like, wait a minute, this trailer is shorter, because the trailer I remember seeing was about 2 minutes long. This is like 1 minute and 30 seconds. What's this trailer? And it's a trailer that actually showed some deleted scenes. I know I'm jumping ahead, but the reason I want to bring that up is this is... On Deadly Ground, I say, was a turning point, and it is, because that's when his film started flopping at the box office. Even though I liked The Deliver Man, I liked On Deadly Ground, I liked this movie, but this was the kicker. And I say that apparently this film had around $60 million budget. And I'm thinking, well, I really enjoy the film. I think it's a fun film, but I don't see 60 million. Well, some of the shit that they spent that money on isn't in the movie, because there were action scenes that were cut out. And before I get into that, this film, I don't even think it made 20 million. If it made 20 million, it was worldwide. So think about it, $60 million budget, and it did not even make half of its budget. Not even close. That's a huge box office flop for Warner Brothers. And this is a time in 1997 that Warner Brothers were doing very poorly. I remember the Superman documentary about Superman Lives, how they wanted to make that film, but they were having all these box office bombs, whether it be Batman and Robin, I think Major League 3 was one of them, a lot of movies that were huge bombs. A Tarzan movie with Casper Van Dien, and box office bomb after bomb after bomb. They couldn't buy a hit. Someone even mentioned by the time 1998 came around, that's why they had like Lethal Weapon 4 and such, because they were trying to buy a hit at that point. They weren't really cutting it. So, because it was such a huge bomb, Warner Brothers said, "You're done, Steven. You're done. You're finished. You're finito." And Jack Craven, when he messaged me, he made a good point where he said that because of Seagal having friction with the studio, with all the problems in the previous films, and I'm talking about behind the scenes with all these stories you hear of directors talking about how Seagal came in late and stuff was re-edited, and then Warner Bros. Took the films re-edited to make it faster paced, and dealing with that, and then this film being a big flop, and how Deliver Man was a flop, On Deadly Ground was a flop, Under Siege 2 was a box office disappointment. They were done, Seagal. They made one more film, Exit Wounds, and that was it. And Jack Craven had mentioned maybe that's why Warner Brothers will not do special editions of these early Seagal films, because they don't want nothing to do with Seagal. They don't want nothing to do with Seagal because of his... They don't like him personally, and some of his later films like this hurt them at the box office. Probably this especially hurt the most, because it was... You could say this is Seagal's biggest box office bomb. Just $60 million budget and not even making $20 million. That's pretty bad. And then, like I was saying before, if you look at the trailer, and I'm going to try, hopefully remember to put the trailer down below, there are scenes in it that are not in the movie. For example, there's like an elevated train, and like someone falls from it. And then Jack Craven had sent me a picture, and it looked like Seagal grabbing someone from that elevated train, and like trying to help him pull out. I'm like, what the hell is that scene? Like, I watched Jack Craven's picture that he sent me, and I'm going to try to remember to put that picture, if I can remember as well, in the info box down below. I'm going to try to remember to do that. I'm like, what the hell? Where's that? Or there's a scene where after he deals with Randy Travis, yeah, Randy Travis is in the film, there's a guy with a flare. And that's when Seagal goes, you tell your boss I'm coming for him. He shoots it. On second thought, I'll tell him. In the movie, he shoots the flare again and doesn't burn the guy. But apparently originally, and you see a bit in the trailer, the trailer I had never seen before, the guy burned and the gas station blew up. So they burned the guy, blew up a gas station, which does cost money, and none of that's in the film. And of course, even the opening of the film, it's a montage showing how Seagal's partner, Seagal is an EPA agent, investigating a Kentucky mine, and Kris Kristofferson is a guy who runs a business. They're dumping toxic waste there. Well, his partner was another EPA agent, and he got killed in the woods, and a bunch of that shit was cut out, and it just took all the footage and melted into a little montage. It was never supposed to be a montage. It was supposed to be a much longer scene with some action sequences in it, but that was all cut out and just put into this little montage with Richard Masur from John Carver's The Thing and Steven Seagal just talking to Seagal and showing little shots of it. So apparently quite a few action stuff was cut out. So that didn't help. Because Warner Brothers wanted a faster paced movie. I'm like, you show me action, I'll be fine with your pacing. Of all the things that cut out of a Seagal film, you don't cut out action scenes. That's just stupefying to me. I never understood that for an action film. What's the one thing you should not cut out? Action scenes! Unless it's something, that really, really fucked up technically and it's unusable. But getting to the film itself, I'm not going to say it's as good as his earlier stuff. I would put Hard to Kill, Out for Justice, Above the Law, Under Siege 1 and 2 above this. But I think Fire Down Below is not that bad. It gets a 5.0 on IMDb. I think that's a bit low. I think this is a perfectly fine action film that I don't really have much problems with. I'm fine with the story taking place in Kentucky, toxic waste in the mines. I thought when the action and the fight scenes happened, they were fun to watch. Kris Kristofferson I liked as an actor. Mark Helgenberger I thought made a pretty good love interest for Seagal. Actually, if I think about all the women that starred in Seagal films, I think she's one of the better ones, acting-wise. She did a good job. Liked her character. Her character was a person who was sort of pushed to the side of the town because she was accused of murdering her dad, and then later on you find out she didn't do it. Her brother, played by Stephen Lane, did it, and he made her take the blame, and she's been pushed away from the town ever since. And I thought Marty Helgenberger did a good job. She's a good actress. I liked her in Species as well. Seagal does fine in the acting department in the beginning where he's chatting with kids and there's a kid who's sick and he's trying to cheer him up, and the kid shows him this picture of what he says is a UFO. Pretty much he's saying that there's been lights in the hills, and that's where the dumping's taking place. And I thought, or like when he's talking with these two women and he's trying to be funny and he's like, oh, two twins like you? Hey, it gets a man thinking. So he's trying to have some fun, some humor to his character, smiling. He's not just old piece of wood. He's not just whispering the whole fucking time. So I didn't mind it. He meets Harry Dean Stanton, who's a guy that kind of hangs around and people look down on him, but you find out later he's the guy who sent the message that some shit's going on around here. I have to wonder if some of that cut stuff was with Harry Dean Stanton, because it seems like he just pops up every once in a while. That maybe his character had a bigger role or such. Maybe not, but... So his character pops up once in a while. There's this one scene where he's checking some water from a stream and the kid's pissing in it. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Hey. Chases him and gets in this marijuana place. And these guys think he's a cop. And Seagal jokes about, what is this, like Deliverance? Kind of like, you got a pretty mouth, boy. Which made me chuckle a bit and takes them down pretty quickly. It's Seagal doing the fight scenes. It's not like his direct-to-video stuff where it's a fight double and fucks him up pretty. It seems like once in a while with the fight scenes, I don't know if they speed up the camera or they do something. It doesn't bother me as much as it used to. I will say that. But it's one of those, I don't know if they just kind of like either they speed up the film or they do something with the editing. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it didn't bother me as much as it used to. But I figure I'd mention it because someone else might. And then he meets Marty Helgenberger, and some of the bad guys fuck with him. They don't know he's an EPA agent yet, but like they put snakes in his place. He catches them. It even goes, shit. It just, especially when you go into his direct-to-video years, it's very rare, if ever, in those films that Seagal will say like, shit, without just being a whisper and no emotion. Like he said shit with emotion. Sometimes those little things help. And he actually puts the snakes in the redneck's truck and fucks with them instead. He did some nice little stuff between Seagal and Mark Helgenberger. Like, she notices that she makes honey. She deals with bees and no one's buying her honey. So Seagal watches her leave and buys all the honey to help her out without wanting her to know. And you get some decent chemistry between the two. I thought they were fine together. They were kind of sweet. Not annoying, not irritating at all. I thought, considering, like with Sharon Stone Above the Law. Sharon Stone, yeah, whatever. Yeah. And Above the Law. I love Above the Law, but Sharon Stone is like, whatever. Kelly Brock, she worked for what she had to do in Hard to Kill, but wasn't the best actress in the movie. Out for Justice, There's No Time for Love. Dr. Jones. Under Siege, Erica Lania's tits was cool. Can't complain about that. Under Siege 2, there was none of that. Just comparing it for love stuff, I think this is actually one of the better ones for Seagal. It worked fine. I didn't think it was heavy-handed. Also with the environment stuff, I don't think it was as heavy-handed as On Deadly Ground. Like, I like On Deadly Ground. I don't think it was as bad as people said it was watching it again. It's just, yeah, some of the environment stuff was very heavy-handed. This, in the meantime, wasn't too heavy-handed with its environment themes. He does a little speech in a church about, what you guys, you're looking the other cheek, you turn the other way while this guy pays you off. But it doesn't feel like it goes on forever like the ending of On Deadly Ground. And I'm sure people will ask, well, which do you like better, this or On Deadly Ground? And that's tough because it doesn't have those what the fuck scenes like him fighting a bear and such from like in On Deadly Ground. But at the same time, this doesn't have as many memorable villains. Like Kris Kristofferson is fine, but On Deadly Ground had Michael Caine and Arlie Ermey and even Billy Bob Thornton and John C. McGinley. And I will say, of the early Seagal films, this doesn't have the brutality. It seemed like if you change a few things, you might get a PG-13 out of this. I don't know if they were ever going for a PG-13. Probably not, but it would seem like with a few things you could get. It seemed, I don't know, I don't want to say it was toned down, but it didn't have the brutality of some of his earlier stuff, which On Deadly Ground definitely has. So I don't know. I'm not sure which I like better. But I don't think this film is bad. I know some people hate the film. I don't think this film's bad at all. I really don't see anything that bad about it that makes people hate it. Yeah, I thought Seagal does fine acting wise. I thought Mark Helgenberger did fine. Kris Kristofferson doesn't have much to do. He's pretty much in this casino most of the time, talking on the phone or talking to his son, who's supposed to be running things in this small town. But some of the action scenes are fun. Like, for example, when this nice fight scene here, where he's taking people down, he even uses his little pole to fuck people up and smack them in the face, and that was a fun fight scene. Another one where these cops trying to fuck with him, and he takes them all down and puts one in a gun in a cop's mouth and talks about, yeah, you know what, I don't believe in your authority. You know who I am, and you know what? He goes a little bit on with his dialogue, and he says, you don't, by the time we're done with you, you don't need some ointment and rub on the hole that hurts the most. I kind of chuckle from that, I'll admit. You have a pretty decent car chase where Seagal's in a sort of red or orange pickup truck. That pickup truck in the back there. And this big Mack truck is chasing him. And that's pretty... I thought that was a pretty fun car chase. Ends with Seagal standing in front of his truck, like, you know, come and get some. Gets out of the way, and the truck hits and falls off the cliff. I thought that was another fun action sequence. Long story short, the pastor, he's ready to testify, but his church gets burned down and he dies. All the meanwhile, this party is going on outside, with Seagal playing a little bit of guitar, making Kris Kristofferson's son apologize to Mark Helgenberger, him finally meeting Kris Kristofferson. But after the church burns down, Stephen Lane takes Seagal to his mine, and Seagal realizes what's going on, who Stephen Lane really is, and that he was molesting his own sister, Mark Helgenberger, when they were kids, and his daddy beat him, and Stephen Lane killed him, and blamed it, made the sister take the blame. And a bunch of bad guys are on him, and takes their shotgun, shoots one or two guys, and the toxic waste is pretty funny. I've never been around toxic waste, so I don't know what it looks like. But does it look like neon, like Nickelodeon neon? That's one thing. I saw the toxic waste. I'm like, I like that color. It's a cool color. I don't know if toxic waste has that color, but it's like this really neon green. I'm like, wow, it's like you paint down the walls, it'll be a rave. So very neon green toxic waste that burns some people, and then things happen. Seagal's fighting some people, smacks a guy in the face. The one guy blows up the whole mine, and Seagal escapes. And that's one of the problems I have with the film. Stephen Lane, his comeuppance is really lame. Because as Seagal is running away, Stephen Lane is just in the mine. And then some rocks fall on him, and then he's dead. And I wonder, was something cut out that had more Stephen Lane in it? Where he got a better comeuppance? There must be, actually. I wonder, because there's a scene in the trailer that's down below. Or maybe not that one, but in one of the trailers is Mark Helgenberger with a shotgun. I don't think that's in this movie. So I wonder if there's a scene Mark Helgenberger, maybe she shot Stephen Lane with a shotgun? Double barrel shotgun? I don't know. Because again, I don't remember Mark Helgenberger having that shotgun in the movie. Or because he just falls to the ground with rocks on him, and then that's it. It's like, is he don't come back? No, I guess not. But for a guy who molested his sister and put the blame on her and all these years scared her and made people believe she was a killer, killed his own dad, uh, tried to get Seagal killed, he needed a brutal comeuppance. He needed fucking arms broken, legs broken, necks broken, a shotgun to the face, something like that. He needed better comeuppance. That's one flaw I have for the film. Stephen Lane's needed a better comeuppance than just a few fucking pebbles hitting him and he gets buried a bit. So that's one thing. Oh, one bit I liked during that little sequence in the mine, Seagal's fighting this guy, and I thought it was a pretty decent fight. Makes the guy choke on his own arm, like turns the guy's arm around him, chokes on him with it. I like that bit. But he don't put Marty Helgenberger into custody, and he's thinking he's meeting with good agents. One of them is Randy Travis. I like Randy Travis. He was in Black Dog. He was in this. I thought he did fine. He only has a small role, and Seagal realizes something's wrong. You have a little chase where they get chased into the diner, and Seagal's running after them, and Randy Travis has a shotgun. Seagal is shooting at him, able to shoot through the wall and hit Randy Travis right in the neck. I'm like, good shot. And that's where you get that sequence. Tell your boss that I'm coming to get him. On second thought, I'll tell him. And like I said before, in the movie, he shoots the flare, it goes up, then he shoots it again to put it out. And then Seagal goes, stay around, we're going to have some fun. But in the trailer, I guess in the original idea, he was going to shoot the flare, pop up, and it was going to burn and blow up the gas station. Which I would like to have seen that. I think that would have been cool. I think they should have kept that bit with the gas station exploding. I think that would have been cool. Maybe they thought it would make Seagal's character too sadistic. Like, he's an EPA agent. He's killing the man's defenseless. He has no gun. So maybe that's why they did it. Because, he's too cruel. He's too... he's an EPA agent. He shouldn't do that. And they got a point. But, fuck it. It's a Steven Seagal film. I would go with that. But, maybe I'm guessing that's maybe why they changed that. But another fun fight scene, he walks into the bad guys playing pool. I like the line of dialogue he says where, if your dad knew how stupid you were, he'd trade you in for a pet monkey. And just fucks these guys up. There's this big guy slams his head against the pool table. Love this bit where a guy has a pool cue and he does this karate chop, boom, right across the guy, breaking his pool cue, and boom, right against his head, just like, boom. I like that bit. I think this is a fun movie. It's a fun, entertaining picture. Didn't get bored, was entertained throughout. Don't mind the idea behind the film. I don't think it was overly preachy or overly sentimental, or I didn't think it was boring at all. At the end, he's at the casino, ready to arrest Kris Kristofferson. There's these 4 bodyguards, and one guy says, I let you in, I lose my job. As Seagal goes, well, that'd be better than losing your teeth. I like that line. I let you in to lose my job. Yeah, but that'd be better than losing your teeth. Steal that line for something else. But it worked well in this movie. Yeah, that's a good line. And makes one guy kick the other guy in the nuts and quick takedowns. And Seagal says, you know what? I'm going to have a good friend with you in prison. His name is Tyrone. And he's definitely going to teach you the intimate parts of prison. And Kris Kristofferson grabs a gun, shoots one of the agents with Seagal, and Seagal shoots him in the shoulder. And Kris Kristofferson is like, oh, you didn't kill me, you shot me in the shoulder. He's like, yeah, I did. Maybe because I'm a bad shot, or maybe because I want you to meet Tyrone. Which, hey, that's definitely a worse fate. And nice, sweet little ending. Seagal goes back to Marty Helgenberger. Previously, there was a scene where the stuff for her bees got burned down. He built brand new ones for her, so she can continue her honey making business. I would love to have seen the full uncut version with all the action scenes. like the stuff with the train, and again, there's that one shot with Seagal is hanging on to someone, and the gas station blowing up, and I would love to have seen that. At least in a deleted scenes section, but really put back in the movie. I'd be very curious to see that. And the full uncut version of the opening with Seagal's partner. This is one instance I would like to have seen the full, well, I say uncut, but not because of violence, but, you know, just the full story. But, yeah, I really enjoy the film. And this is one of those Seagal films that are not out on Blu-ray, like The Glimmer Man, and I think On Deadly Ground. Well, maybe. I know The Glimmer Man and this film are not out on Blu-ray, which is too bad. I don't think On Deadly Ground's on Blu-ray either. I could be wrong on that, but I know Glimmer Man and this one are not out on Blu-ray. Which is a shame. I just, because Warner Brothers, like, they were flops, fuck them. Well, fuck you, Warner Brothers. You have a 2-disc special edition of Batman and Robin. And this is better than Batman and Robin. And I'm kind of also delaying things because I know what's coming next. Because what's coming next is The Patriot. And Ticker. And Half Past Dead. And The Foreigner. And fuck. You had one or two direct-to-video films, The Patriot and Ticker after this, which were shitty. Then you have Exit Wounds, which I liked. Then you have Half Past Dead, which I did not care for at all. And then that was his end of theatrical films, unless you count Machete. Because from 2003, The Foreigner, till now, it's live direct-to-video stuff, and it's going to be very painful. And, you know, I looked at this movie, and I'm like, this film isn't that bad. I never thought this film was bad. Okay, if you don't like the film, please feel free to explain why. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'll disagree. But please feel free as to what it is about this film you didn't like. Again, my flaws is, okay, some of the country songs I could do without. I'm not a big country music guy. There's a couple country songs out there I enjoy. Hell, the song At the End of Frequency by Garth Brooks. God, I cannot believe I forgot the name of the song. But it's At the End of Frequency with Dennis Quaid. That's a country song, I enjoy that. There are country songs I enjoy, but yeah, the country songs on this, for the most part, don't care for. So the soundtrack isn't my cup of tea. Stephen Lane needed a much better comeuppance, and I would be very curious to see that deleted stuff that you see in trailers and so forth. But other than that, fun pieces of action, whether it be gun shootouts, little fun car chase, some fun fight scenes. The acting isn't bad. Harry Dean Stanton, he's a good actor. Kris Kristofferson is a good actor. Mark Helgenberger, I thought she did a good job. Seagal did fine. The idea it's not preachy. It's not too heavy-handed. I think it's a fun, entertaining movie. I'd never minded Fire Down Below. I like that title, too. I think that's a good title, Fire Down Below. Because it deals with the mines, and there's even one scene where Seagal tells about, how come there's smoke there? And Mark Helgenberger goes, oh yeah, there's been fire burning there for years. I'm guessing that's where the title comes from. But yeah. Fun movie. But thanks for watching, take care, and next time it's going to be The Patriot, which was supposed to be a theatrical film, then went direct-to-video. And no, I'm not talking about the one with Mel Gibson. This is the Steven Seagal as a doctor. Think of the movie Outbreak, except if nothing happened, and Seagal was the doctor. Oh joy. But Fire Down Below is good. I liked it. I still liked it. And I don't repeat myself, but I've never hated this film. I don't know what this director went on to do. Probably some TV work and that's it, but I thought he did fine. But thanks for watching, take care, we'll see you later.